The government now has the political support to pass aspects of its IR reforms that have been subject of a multi-million-dollar campaign by the business lobby. Obviously, aspects of the business lobby are against it. Live to Sky News political reporter Joel Philp. Joel, Workplace Relations Minister Tony Burke has declared the labour hire loophole will be closed.
That's right, Laura. So this is the aspects of the legislation that groups like the Minerals Council of Australia have been pushing hard against, this labour hire loophole, which effectively means that when it becomes law, which it looks set to do as of today, an example I've been given is a flight attendant who is working on the same plane with another flight attendant will be paid the same amount of money even if they are hired through a labour hire company. That's one aspect of the legislation which has the backing now of the Greens and some key crossbenchers, which, of course, the Workplace Relations Minister Tony Burke stood alongside this morning at this press conference announcing it. Other aspects of it, criminalisation of intentional wage theft. That is something which we'll go through today. A new offence of industrial manslaughter will also go through. That's something that you can assume people could be charged with in the future if an employee dies at work and the circumstances are inappropriate enough that the company could be charged in some capacity. So Tony Burke, when making this announcement today, also stood alongside the mother of a woman whose son was actually killed in a workplace in Canberra. These are those comments.
There is an option available to Australia's Senate to get a whole lot done today. All four of the measures that were in my bill that were part of the private members' bills that Senators Lambie and Pocock moved, all of that can be done today.
I believe this legislation is made through the blood of the workers who never came home. This is just one part of the puzzle. We've got the framework now. Now we have to fill it in with all the other pieces.
The aspects of this bill that will be pushed into the new year include this gig economy, more support for workers of the gig economy, such as Uber Eats drivers, to treat them all like employees. We've had further political reaction this morning as to groups that are happy with this going ahead or being pushed back, what they wanted. Here it is.
The Greens support workers' rights and we will support the government's pared back industrial relations legislation passing today. We'd have liked to have seen more protections for casual and gig workers before Christmas.
I don't have a problem that a deal's been done. Deals get done in this place. What I do have a problem with is the Senate had agreed that we would be able to inquire into and scrutinise this bill. We all knew that it would go through next year at some stage, but only after it had been properly scrutinised.
It's important to ensure that the minimum wages get, increased for workers, especially those that are, my understanding, in terms of those who work for, so the likes of Qantas have been underpaid because of their, the way that they've been contracted in to be the subcontractor. So I think that is important. But then where the contest is around small business for me in terms of how that will impact local small business.
OK, that was Dai Lee there speaking on AM Agenda a little earlier. And Joel, as you pointed out, Dai Lee, it seems other independents are still very concerned about the same job, same pay aspects when it comes to small business and casualisation. But let's talk about what has been quite a big week for the government and a big week for everyone in Parliament House, the government's efforts to re-detain a group of convicted criminals. Now, that was overshadowed by a pretty decent outburst from the Attorney-General yesterday. He doesn't want to apologise.
He doesn't, Laura. Look, what's actually happened is the government's obviously last night passed legislation which is about a preventative detention regime which would enable a court to re-detain if this person poses an inappropriate risk to the community. One of this group of about 150 refugee, stateless people who were recently released after the High Court decision. Now, these people, several of them, have been allegedly out there committing crimes, breaching their visa conditions, and the Attorney-General, Mark Dreyfus, was asked if he would apologise to these new alleged victims, which have just basically been faced with these issues over the past few days or so. It's a very touchy subject at the moment, but he said no, he would not apologise to them because he was upholding the law.
Do you owe an apology to those in the community that have been subjected to misdeeds by some of these individuals?
Olivia, the reason that these people have been released from immigration detention is because the High Court has made a decision that means it is illegal for us to continue to detain them.
I want to suggest to you that that question is an absurd question. I will not be apologising for upholding the law. I will not be apologising for pursuing the rule of law, and I will not be apologising for acting. Do not interrupt. I will not be apologising for acting. I will not be apologising for acting in accordance with a High Court decision.
We know in the heat of exchange in press conferences that journalists need to feel to interrupt while a talent is speaking, and no doubt the Attorney-General responded in the way that he felt he should.
I think people should speak calmly whenever they can. In public life and in politics, they should speak calmly. But what you saw was a heated exchange between an excellent Attorney-General and an excellent journalist.
It felt to me as if he was shouting at the women of Australia who have genuine anxieties about predators who've been released into the community. So there's a lot of work to do for this government.
The action that we've had on the last day of Parliament for the year.
Yeah, plenty of it. Plenty more to come too, Joel. Thanks so much.